But when you're learning the one-hand swing, it's easier to start with more one-handed swings before you have to switch hands. That way you can practice touching the handle and get used to the idea of transfer swings, right? Okay, hand-to-hand swings. All right, so this is usually how I teach the one-hand swing. 5 reps at a time. I'm going to demonstrate it, but I'm going to put the bell down on 5, and then I'm going to switch hands with the bell on the ground, okay? So I'm going to start with one hand. I'm going to do 5 swings. I'm going to touch the handle every time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to set the bell down. I'm going to switch hands with the bell on the ground. I'm going to do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to set it down, all right? So if you haven't practiced one-hand swings yet, that is the way that I would suggest you do a couple sets that way. Get used to touching the handle. Now, after you've done 3 or 4 sets like that where you switch hands and it's on the ground, you're going to switch hands midair, right? And the other hand's going to be there because you're touching the handle. We're going to switch hands on 5. We're going to switch back on 5, all right? We're going to start with one hand. So you've already done 5 and 5 with it parked in between 5 reps. Now we're going to switch hands. Start with one hand and touch the handle 4 times. You're going to switch on 5. Touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, touch 4, switch hands on the way up, touch 1. So see, it was almost, I didn't even notice it practically, right? 3, 4, switch hands on the way up. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. That's called 5 and 5, 5 reps at a time, switching on 5, because when you switch, that's still a swing. You're going to switch back, equals 10 reps. You're going to practice this a few times. 5 at a time, switching on 5, switch back on 5. Start with one hand. Touch the handle 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch hands on 5 on the way up. So my hand is going up to the handle to meet my bell. Here's my 4th touch. Now I'm going to switch, and there's my 5 and 5. Okay, so that's the first one-hand swing progression. 5 at a time. The next one, you're only going to touch the handle 2 times, and then you're going to switch. 2 times, and then you're going to switch. So this is the one I want you to practice, because this is actually a little bit more advanced if you're not used to swinging in these combinations, okay? It's 2 swings and a switch, 2 touches and a switch, 2 touches and a switch, okay? You ready? I'm going to demonstrate it, and then I want you to do it. Start with one hand. You're going to touch the handle twice, and then switch hands. 1, 2. Now switch hands. Only twice. 1, 2. Switch hands, and you're done. 2 swings at a time, but it's actually 3 swings because that transfer and transfer back count as a swing. We're going to do it one more time. 2 and 2. Starting with one hand. Touch twice, switch on 3, all right? So here's 1, 2, we're switching on our 3rd rep. We're touching once, we're touching twice, we're switching on our 3rd rep. All right, ready to take it a little bit faster pace? The swing doesn't happen faster, but the transfers happen faster. This time you're only going to touch the handle one time, and then you're going to switch. You're going to touch it once and switch. We're going to do this 3 times on each side, okay? So just watch me first, and then you try it. Start with one hand, 1 touch, 1 switch. All right, here we go. 1 touch, 1 switch. So now we're switching more often. 1 touch, 1 switch. 1 touch, 1 switch. 1 touch, 1 switch. One more time, each side, and switch. 1 touch, and switch. We're done. Great. All right, so we did 5 and 5, we did 2 and 2, and we did 1 and 1. So let's do those one more time through. We're going to start with 5 and 5. Okay, ready? Start with one hand. We're switching on 5, and we're switching back. Here we go. For 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch hands on 5. touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, touch 4. We're switching hands on 5. Done. 2 and 2, 1 and 1. Oop, I'm sorry, 2 and 2, and then we stop. 2 and 2. We're switching actually on 3. Start with one hand. Here we go. Touch 1, touch 2, switch hands, touch 1, touch 2, switch hands, and we're done. All right, so here's our set where we switch more often, okay? 1 touch, 1 switch, 1 touch, 1 switch. That's it, just 4 reps. 1 touch, 1 switch. All right, here we go. 1 touch, 1 switch. 1 touch, 1 switch. All right, now they're gonna come even faster. We're just gonna switch every time. We're gonna start with one hand. Instead of touching, we're gonna switch. Instead of touching, we're gonna switch, okay? I might have changed up the practice a little bit on you, but that's okay. This is all gonna be part of the workout of the post, okay? So you gotta practice these if you're not used to them. Start with one hand and switch. We're gonna switch 10 times, right? 1, switch, 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 switch. Instead of touching, switching. Here we go. Switch, switch. Here's 3, you're switching every time. 4, make sure that hand's there. So think about touching, but instead of touching, just switch. 4 more. Here we go. That should be 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, all right. Practice those, okay? So I'm gonna take you through the 3 one-handed swing combinations. There's also 2 hand swings in this workout that I'm gonna post, but now I'm gonna take you individually through 3 swing combinations. And you can practice these all you want while you have more rest than you need probably, okay? Starting with 5 at a time. This is it, I'm taking you through 3 swing combinations. 5 at a time is our first set. Here we go. Touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, touch 4, switch hands. On 5, touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, touch 4, switch hands on 5. All right, that was our first one-hand swing combination, 5 at a time. Our second one-hand swing combination combines our 2 swings and our 1 swing. This is the most difficult as far as how much concentration it takes, okay? Once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. It's called a 2-1 swing ladder. It's opposite of my 1-2 swing ladder, but that doesn't matter right now. We're swinging it twice before we switch on each side. Then we're swinging it once before we switch, okay? Ready? Here we go. 2 touches. 1, 2. Now switch. 2 touches. 1, 2. Now switch. Only 1 touch. 1 touch. 1 switch. 1 touch. Switch back and we're done, okay? So, believe it or not, that swing combination adds up to 10 swings, right? That's why I designed it that way, okay? So, we did 5 and 5, we did 2, 1. Now we're gonna switch every time, 10 reps. Every swing combination set has 10 reps. Switching every time, you ready? I know you've been practicing, so here we go. Switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, switch 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, those are the 3 one-hand swing combinations. There's 1 more, which is 2 hands. Okay, so that's not one-handed swings, that's 2 hands. Those are the 4 swing combinations that are going to be in this workout just for you. And so practice, okay, because practice is training at this level, okay? You're going to get a lot of work in just practicing those swings. I gave you plenty of rest, but always take the rest you need, and then we'll get on to our workout for another day, and I hope you enjoy it. It's just for you.